Hi friends, this class is designed to take some of the core moves we use in yoga and, pun intended, build strength in your core. Now, it requires a certain amount of honesty with yourself. What I mean by that is there will be times where you can go through the motions on an external level, but not actually be engaging the muscles in your midsection. So, to begin with, settle in. Find a comfy spot. Just close your eyes. We'll try to do these poses without momentum as best we can, although granted, if you're newer at these, there will be a certain amount of momentum needed. As you are, whatever seated position you're in, start to pull your navel towards your spine. Imagine pulling your spine towards your navel as well, and then also that area about 5 centimeters below the belly button, think about pulling that in and scooping it up. And that's the mechanism, even without doing any fancy flailing of limbs. That's what I want you to engage today. This could even be your practice, just beginning calmly on a seat, chair, meditation cushion, and relaxing the belly again, and then scooping it in, pulling it to the spine, but also pulling the spine to the belly, and then pulling that whole configuration up. Excellent. Do one more. And obviously from the outside, it doesn't look like you're doing anything. But that's kind of the point. It's a real inner honesty. Am I engaging those muscles? That's going to help stabilize the central trunk as you do more advanced practices. And it's so easy to lose track of that as you're concentrating on the choreography, so to speak, of the pose. Pull the belly in, pull it right in, suck it towards the spine, and then lift. It's almost like the lower organs get lifted up. Imagine, I think of an elevator doors closing and then the whole thing rising up, going upstairs. Okay, let's begin. Lie on your back. The first one is just some toe taps. My hunch is that we'll get through these, hopefully 2 rounds. Interlace the fingers behind your head, lift the head, neck and shoulders up. Now, if nothing else, can you feel your lower back is completely pressed into the ground, such that you can't fit your fingers underneath? That's key. Can you keep that shape and then take your legs to what we call tabletop position? If this is enough, stay here and just hold this while we do the drill. We'll do a set of 8. So both sides. Tap the right toes down, but make sure that your lower back doesn't lift up, and it will want to. And then left. 2, 3, 4. Keep lowering that lower back down. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, take a rest. You can let the knees just draw in towards you. Pause. The second one is lovingly known as dead bug. I don't really like the name, but that is what the pose is called. So, legs come to tabletop position again. Arms reach straight up, palms facing each other. Head, neck and shoulders lift up again for the engagement of your lower back with the ground. Now, if at any point any of these exercises irritate your back, skip. Pause, come out of the pose, okay? So here, left leg lowers into a hover, right arm goes beside your ear, left arm stays straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Take a rest. Okay. Minimal pauses between things, but of course you can always stop the video if you need a break. Come into a seated position with your hands behind you. And you want the hands to be approximately underneath the elbows, the legs are straight. This is a pose known as Purvottanasana in yoga, which is east side stretch of the body. It's basically the opposite of a push-up. you'll lift your hips up and make yourself into a plank. 8 of these, lowering down deliberately, and again, this is where momentum is tempting. 2, 3, can you make your big toes touch the ground? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Cross the shins, pull through, plant your hands, and onto your belly. Prop yourself up in Sphinx pose for Sphinx roll-ups. Elbows are underneath the shoulders, palms are facing downwards. I'll give you 2 options in this one because, to be honest, if you do this in a circuit training format, it's completely fine to switch modes. The first one is to pull the belly up, lift the hips up, lift the thighs up. And then when you get here, drag the knees towards the elbows, as though you're going to scrunch the floor or your yoga mat by pulling the knees in. That can be as far as you go, or if you want more, lift up all the way to the tops of your feet and drag the tops of your feet towards your elbows. Then reverse that, but very, very slowly. The knees lower, the thighs lower, the hips lower, and then you take a pause. That is 1. Let's do 8 of those. Ready? Hips up, thighs up, knees up. Drag the tops of your feet towards your elbows and your elbows towards your feet. And lowering down. 2. We'll go a little bit faster. 3. Make sure everything's being engaged the whole time. 4. If you feel your lower back gets sore, make sure you lift your hips higher. I find if I don't lift my hips completely, I can feel the dumping into the lower back. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, take a pause. And then we go back and repeat. So back to hands and knees, onto our backs, toe taps. Now, of course, if you really get good at this, you could do this whole video twice. Don't let me stop you. But let's start off on the back. And of course, the whole point is the first round, the muscles get a bit fatigued. The second round, they get really fatigued. That's probably enough for when you're beginning. Tomorrow, you might notice you've done this exercise in this class. All right, head, neck, and shoulders off the ground, legs in tabletop shape. Let's start with the right foot. 1. Keep the lower back touching the ground. 2. 3. Legs as steady as possible. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Take a rest. The floor never felt so good. Okay. Arms straight up, legs are in tabletop position. What's the thing I'm missing? Head, neck, and shoulders need to come online. Lift them up as much as you need to for that low back to engage with the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take a rest. Okay, come into a seated position, Purvottanasana, legs in front. I can feel a lot of warmth, a lot of heat in the midsection at this point. Possibly a testament to the fact I've not been doing core work recently. I'm on a running program at the moment and it has stretch and strength day, and that's the part I do the stretch, but I don't do the strength as much, and that's what's inspired this class. Okay, toes are pointed, feet glued together, 8 lifts. 1, 2, but don't go too fast, make the arms work. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well done. Home stretch onto your belly. Lowering all the way down to Sphinx pose. Take a moment. So again, you can peel up just to your knees. You do not need to go to the tops of your feet. But if you know that that's what you need, be honest with yourself, and if you can handle the challenge, give it to yourself. Satya, truthfulness, is a tough one, because there's so many times we say, oh, you can cut that corner, this one won't matter. And the opposite's true too. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard, and we're not really being honest with ourselves about our energy levels. Okay, let's peel up. 1, 2. Really drag the knees to the elbows to the knees. 3, 4, 5. Let's go further. 6, 7, and 8. Pushing up and back. Coming into a seated position. One more bonus. This is from the world of Ashtanga. One of the things that is the most beautiful to watch is a jump through, and it takes a huge amount of strength of the core, but it also needs the arms and the shoulders and the pressing of the arms. So what you'll do is try to keep your knees glued to your shoulders, or as close as you can. We'll start with the toes on the ground and hands beside you. You want your hands to be a little bit in front of the hips so that you can see I rock forwards and then lift. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you have to lean forwards into the hands. 5, 6, 7, and it should really be core work. 8, and then let's swap. Which leg is in front? Because while it's good to develop one side, you don't want to create an imbalance, and actually a completely different muscle set in your core is needed. So again, it might feel weird when you cross the leg you're not used to in front. Knees come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well done. Take a moment. Micro Shavasana. Lie down. Let everything go. And just feel the energy that you've been using. It certainly shifts the mind when you do more intense work like that. The mood shifts, your energy, it shifts. And there's no way you can think yourself to that state. Mood follows action. Step your feet back to the mat. Take yourself over to one side. And very slowly come back up into a seated position. Just notice how you feel. Of course, if you want to, feel free to repeat this with another video. But I'm signing off for today. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Namaste.